What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Full Draw, presented by Hooked and Knocked. I'm Trevor B.
And I'm Trevor D. This is the podcast where we talk hunting, fishing, faith, and the outdoor lifestyle that comes with it.
Today's episode is a good one. We're diving into where American hunting really started, how it changed over time, and whether some of those changes helped or hurted hunting, the sport we love.
We're talking everything from Daniel Boone, Davy Crockett, Boone and Crockett, why that name still matters, or maybe why it doesn't in modern hunting.
We're also getting into ethics, traditional bows versus compounds, and what really makes a hunt ethical, and how faith plays into decisions and we make in the woods.
We're keeping it real, not just history, not just opinion, but how all this affects hunters today, especially the next generation.
So whether you're in the truck, in the stand, or listening at camp, stick with us. This one's got strong takes.
This is Full Draw. Let's get into it.
Hunting isn't just a sport. For some of us, it's a lifestyle. And for 4 months of the year, we belong to these woods. The early mornings, cold wind, and long sits. It's all part of who we are. It's in our blood. The wait, the silence, the heartbeat before the shot. It's a feeling you only get at Full Draw.
All right, guys, we're going to start out with the outdoor fact of the week because the more you understand the outdoors, the better a hunter you can become. This is a good one. White-tailed deer are crepuscular, meaning they're most active at dawn and dusk, not because they're nocturnal, not because it's a safer time of day for them to move.
So they basically adapted their entire lifestyle around survival.
Exactly, dude. Low light, cooler temps, less pressure. Deer aren't dumb. They're survivors first, bro.
Understandable. Okay, so fact number 2. Daniel Boone from Boone and Crockett was kidnapped by the Shawnee tribe and escaped on foot, running for 4 days straight through the forests, rocks, rivers, all with no shoes on. The Shawnee arrived to Boone's burrow, outnumbering Boone and his people 7-1, with the firearms gifted to them by the British. Boone fought back using homemade gunpowder from sulfur and fire ash, but knowing he was outnumbered, he tried to negotiate with the tribe, who agreed to let Boone surrender, but still attacked him anyway. Boone and his 50 people fought off the Shawnee tribe for 10 days straight until the Shawnee retreated.
And that takes us back to where American hunting really started, with Daniel Boone. Boone wasn't chasing trophies, he hunted to survive. Deer meat meant food, hides meant warmth and trade.
There was no season, no tag, no inches. Success meant your family ate. One deer equals food, clothes for your family, and trading currency, like Trevor said.
Because of that, there was respect. Waste wasn't an option.
Boone understood the land because of his life depended on it. He hunted in harsh conditions with weather-affected powder, meaning too much moisture in the air would affect his powder to not fire correctly.
Then we've got Davy Crockett, another legend.
Hunter, woodsman, soldier, politician, but at his core, just a frontiersman.
Crockett didn't hunt for bragging rights. He hunted with skill and restraint.
Crockett hunted bear for Andrew Jackson and the soldiers during the American frontier, keeping them fed, using their fat to waterproof their leather. It's been said Crockett would kill 105 bear per season just to keep our soldiers alive.
That's crazy. Modern hunting, it seems like we let all the organs, all those parts that we don't normally eat just go to waste. But back then, they would eat everything. Anything you could eat off of that deer, they would eat it. And the hide, they would use it. Nowadays most of the time, most people just waste the hide.
Nope, throw it out for the Yotes to eat.
Exactly.
I bet back then too, not that it matters much, but the abundancy of wildlife back then compared to now was a lot more.
Yep. Fast forward, wildlife populations crashed, though, from market hunting when you could sell deer meat. And Boone and Crockett steps in. Hunters save wildlife. Ethically, that matters.
They brought seasons, limits, conservation laws. Without that, we probably wouldn't be hunting today.
But they also introduced something new.
Measurement.
And that's where things started to shift. I think that's where hunting really started to fall apart. Once you put a number on an animal, ego enters the woods.
Inches become status. Big deer become the goal, not ethical harvest.
And that's the mentality exploded with social media. Everybody posts the biggest buck, the biggest deer. Nobody posts what just fills the freezer, man.
And that's what they measure their success by, is how big the deer they got. Not just if you could feed your family, if you could make stuff with it, just the size.
Exactly. And it discourages new hunters and creates pressure, especially on public land. Everybody's out here chasing these monster bucks. And a lot of guys pass on does. I know it.
Oh, I've done it once.
See? It happens.
It does.
They don't want to kill a doe, they don't want to deal with it. They want, I want that buck.
Hunting turned from survival to competition.
Exactly. And it never was the same after that. It changed the whole sport. It turned it into a sport. Before it was just like a way of survival. And I don't think like we've talked about this before, but not enough emphasis is put on that and processing your own meat.
Oh yeah. I've only done that one time myself. Usually I take it to the butcher and have them do it for me. But I am starting to learn myself, and it's definitely a appreciation you learn to have.
Oh yeah, it turns hunting into something different. Like when you process it and you go through that whole thing, it's like you respect it more. I feel like.
In a way, it almost seems more rewarding too, because you worked for that meat there.
Yep, exactly. And when you strip away inches, scores, records, you're left with one question.
Why do we hunt?
Faith reminds us we're stewards, not owners.
Psalm 8 talks about responsibility, not domination.
And that means humility, gratitude, respect for life.
When hunting becomes pride driven, something's off.
A clean shot, full recovery, using the meat, that's respect. You don't want to shoot a deer in the shoulder, knowing it's not going to run far, but you're going to have to put another shot on it probably. Deer's going to suffer.
Oh, yeah, and that's the main reason I won't really shoot anything past 30, 40 yards at most, to be honest. Not right now, at least, until I get my skill set up.
And that's why I think compound bows really stand out today as like in my mind a very ethical way to put down a deer, quick, accurate, but also it isn't giving you an unfair advantage all the time versus like with crossbows, they give you an unfair advantage all year round. That's why gun season I feel like is limited because if you had gun season for as long as deer season, it would be
Oh
over
my
with.
god, the deer would be gone.
Literally, it would be over with, bro.
So I got a question then. Does traditional bow, is it less ethical or more ethical than a compound?
I think this is a great debate here. I think ethically they're probably, I don't know, probably the same, depending if you're willing to put in the time with a traditional bow. Not saying you can't, not saying that compound bow you don't have to put in the same amount of time because you still need to practice, but there is way less forgiveness with a traditional bow.
That's true. But like you said, it comes down to the practice. So I feel like if you have done the practice, you've put in the work, I feel like it would be just as ethical as a compound.
You have to have some strict discipline, I feel like, to really put in that time in the off season to know exactly. And I feel like the patience involved because, I can 20, 30 yards is realistic. I could do it. I feel good 20, 30, maybe 40. I don't feel like you're doing that with the traditional bow.
No.
Sub 20, right? That's probably.
I would say so, yeah, because it forces short range, much more practice, and much more discipline, for sure. Because, I mean, if you have a deer that's 40 yards with a traditional bow, I don't know how many people would be comfortable taking that versus with my compound. I'm willing to push up to 40 if I have to for the right deer.
But I've seen the videos of guys, they shoot traditional bow 100 yards. I've seen it.
Oh, I'm not saying it can't be done, but for the average hunter like myself, I
Yeah.
would feel more comfortable with the compound.
But they're shooting like 110, 150 pound draw.
That's insane.
And I couldn't imagine trying to do that like smoothly enough with a deer that close, you know?
And I've seen plenty of videos of dudes having to hold their draw for minutes at a time. You're not doing that with the traditional bow. It's just not gonna happen.
No, but I think hunting traditional would be something I would want to try. I think one day. I think it connects you to, I don't know, like the roots of hunting. And in my brain, that's how it would feel.
Yeah, it's almost more takes you back to the OG way, like you're saying. It's more like a primal way of hunting. I feel like.
Yeah, I feel like there's also though like this like respect involved with not only the machinery that you're using, a traditional bow. I mean, you've got to respect that equipment and also the animal. Like I don't know, there's a lot that goes into that.
Because I mean, the traditional bows is made from natural resources. Realistically, just wood and whatever they use to make the strings. I'm not quite sure, but compound. What are those? Fiberglass. Most of the time,
Probably cast
metal,
aluminum, stuff
aluminum.
like that. And they got the cams to increase the power. I think that's what cams do.
Yeah,
I'm
I
no
think so.
expert. I think that's what they do.
Yeah, we don't build bows or anything. We
No, I
just
do
shoot them.
not. I shoot whatever I can afford.
But really, realistically, it's about knowing your limits, shot selection, and patience.
And that goes for every bow or gun, really.
Hmm.
I mean, if you don't know your limits and if you don't put the practice in, don't matter what you're shooting, you're not going to be successful.
Even with when I used to hunt with a crossbow, I probably wouldn't have shot 50, 60 yards just because I'd never practiced that before. So I wouldn't have pushed my limits there.
Exactly. But think about it. In the off season, you practice that with your compound.
Oh yeah, yep. One day I want to get comfortable at 50, 60, but not quite there yet.
Hey, you'll get there. I think hunting traditional bows would just be a cool, like a cool homage. Like you said with Boone with the Indians. I don't know. It'd be like connecting back to the Indians. I got Native American blood.
Yep.
A lot of us around here do. I don't know. I feel like a connection. Like back when, like Daniel Boone, he hunted to survive.
Crockett hunted to live free,
Boone and Crockett hunted to protect the future.
and today we hunt to represent.
Now, how we hunt matters. How we talk about hunting matters.
And will we lead with humidity instead of inches? Hunting survives.
Hunting, it needs to be about the meat, the deer camps, the experiences. It can't be about the rack. I know we love the rack, but
Oh
we
yeah,
got to keep our mind on the prize.